2 brand new teams and 3 returning teams are gonna fight for the right to go to the main event. Welcome to the Junkyard Joust, everybody. I'm Aaron Yonda. We haven't seen them since Season 2. The Speed Reapers are back along with Alabaster Aces and They See Me Rollin'. 2 brand new teams, Illuvium and Mint Conditions. Let's have a closer look. Alabaster Aces just barely missed out on skipping the qualifiers. They made it to 4th in the finals. They've got 2 returning cars and 3 brand new ones, including Forklift. Here's an interesting new team, Illuvium. 5 unusual cars that all kind of look similar. Should be interesting to see how they do. Mint Conditions, a team of cars that are worth probably a reasonable amount of money, but they won't be after this match. The Speed Reapers haven't changed up their formula too much. They've got a couple new cars, but they've got implements on those things. Always interesting to see those in action. And sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings, it's They See Me Rollin', the Ryu Asada edition. A team I built in honor of a Hot Wheels designer who's no longer with us. Let's get out to the Junkyard and Joust. Starting us off, gonna be Snake Oiler for the Reapers, sponsored by Reaper EOD. The randomized running order is up. Cars go down in the order their team chooses. If a car is sideways or upside down at the end of the round, they are out. First up for Illuvium, Scorpio, sponsored by Judy Collins. Scorpio tries to get under Snake Oiler, can't do much more than get him curbside. Be always fun to watch Dune Crusher for the Aces, sponsored by Wolfle Fiber Art. Dune Crusher clatters off the back of Scorpio and very unusually ends up upside down. That almost never happens with Dune Crusher, at least not this early. And Snake Oiler potentially taken down here as well. Wow, big drama already in this match. First up for Mint Condition, 64 Chevrolet Impala SS, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. It's got the front end raised up, and it ends up doing a pretty good job of keeping on the track, kind of clamping down on Scorpio and pushing. Now the back is lower. Will it be enough to keep the car on the track? When it takes a hit from the Rygen Express for They See Me Rollin', sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Rygen pushes hard into the pile, and the Impala manages to stay on the track. Rygen almost goes sideways, and Scorpio does a good job balancing and staying alive for the moment. Up now for the Speed Reapers, Musha Motors, sponsored by Chome. Bit of a bonk there by Musha and transfers some of that motion into the Impala, which pushes it off the track. Rygen goes toppling over sideways and into almost certain elimination. Guess having those front wheels up did not help. Octanium now for Illuvium, sponsored by Hey Hey's Hatchback Hanger. Octanium bounces Musha Motors up towards the front, hits the safety rail, bounces backwards, and does a good job of recovering. And it looks like Snake Oiler might be recovering up there towards the front right now on top of Dune Crusher. The Ford RS200 for the Aces, sponsored by Emo Dingo. The Ford slams Octanium up towards the front just a little bit more, no damage on that hit. The Subaru Impreza WRX for Mint Conditions. A nice hit by the Subaru, scratching a bunch of paint off the front of the car and making it worth nothing. No cars eliminated on that hit. Next up for They See Me Rollin', it's Super Blitzin', sponsored by JK Siege. Super Blitzin' tosses the Ford off the track sideways and probably out of the match. Meanwhile, Snake Oiler has recovered completely over there on the right. Subaru is curbside. And here comes Baby Cookie in Racer X, sponsored by Farty Marty.
I used to be famous.
Cookie goes flying in a nice high arc out of Racer X. I think she made it up to a level 5. Pretty graceful landing on her feet. Looks like the Subaru Impreza is out. Next up for Illuvium, the O2 Autonomy Concept, sponsored by Amethyst Auto Club. The Autonomy assassinates Racer X upside down, and Super Blitzin makes a near escape. Meanwhile, Scorpio trying to get off the track now to safety. Looks like Cookie won't be going down again in that car. The infamous Forklift now on Alabaster Aces, and a Klingon has decided to drive this thing down the track, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Wow, no hijinks there from Forklift, just a straight up vicious hit. Might have something to do with the fact that Klingon is driving it. That was a double elimination. The Autonomy and Super Blitzin' both upside down after that hit. I think we're seeing a different side of Forklift this time around. The 62 Ford F100, 76 grams, sponsored by Chorgoth, the Infinite Horror. The F100 rear ends Forklift, but Forklift is not interested in getting off the track, stays steady. Illuvium gets tossed all over the place, but ends up upside down. Solid hit by that F100, nice looking truck. Here comes Blitz Speeder, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings, for They See Me Rolling. Blitz Speeder hits a solid wall in the back of that Ford, nowhere to go. Forklift stays locked in. And now here comes the CRX for Speed Reaper, sponsored by Regal Radio. The CRX tries to claw Blitz Speeder into oblivion, but Blitz Speeder, a lot of acrobatics and a nice recovery, landing upright. CRX tries to get off the track, just about does it, putting those implements to good use. Phantom Racer for Illuvium, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Phantom Racer hits a solid wall yet again, a little bounce back there, and now the cars are moving down the track a bit. 51-gram Corvette C8R, sponsored by Jedi, should be a good hit. Corvette slams into Phantom Racer. Phantom Racer gets bounced off the back of the F100, makes a pretty good landing, could be safe, probably a recovery. Here comes the Muttmobile for Mint Condition, sponsored by Sicken. Big collision from the Muttmobile, but there's nowhere to go, not much action, and the line is solid. They See Me Rolling, sending down Skydome, sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. Skydome tries to take out Muttmobile, but Muttmobile, surprisingly athletic, lands it, and something got chipped off the back of the F100. A big chunk of white paint goes flying off the Ford. Tough to see damage to such a beautiful vehicle, but what are you gonna do? Up next for the Reapers, Teiho Togokan, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Ooh, a nasty takedown there of Skydome with that implement getting right underneath. A good undercut. And the Corvette is also in trouble for Alabaster. That could be an elimination there. Iridium for Illuvium, sponsored by Stumps Tree Farm. Solid hit, but nowhere to go. Iridium lines it up. Shadow Jet 2, sponsored by Bentley's Brakes and Bumpers. We know what this thing can do. And it does it again. Iridium gets tossed up on top of Teiho and thrown off the track. Paint flying everywhere. I can't tell if that was off Shadow Jet or maybe something picked up on the track. The Alfa Romeo Giulia, sponsored by Jason's Bits Boys. The Alfa Romeo gets some good action. A heavy hit, bounces backwards facing the other direction. No eliminations, but a lot of movement. And actually, maybe there was an elimination. The Corvette is definitively out now. Speedbox returning for They See Me Rollin', sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. Speedbox slams into the Alfa Romeo, no eliminations on that hit. The implement keeps the Teiho locked upright. Speedbox, the final car of the round. We've got 11 eliminations on the field. That means just 14 cars have survived. Here are your eliminations. 2 teams losing 3 apiece. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Tough round for returning teams. Alabaster and They See Me Rollin', loss of 3 cars apiece. Mint Conditions and Illuvium each lost 2, and Speed Reaper's looking good right now with only 1 loss. Snake Oiler had a close call last round, back to try it again in round 2. Ooh, the impact with Evil Weevil knocks Snake Oiler almost off the track, but not all the way. That's a vulnerable position. And Scorpio takes full advantage of it, knocking Snake Oiler straight upside down. Almost no chance of recovery from that. Wow, that was a devastating blow to the Speed Reapers. Heavy hit from the Ford F100, but Scorpio manages to stay tight to the track. And now we can see the damage done to the paint job of the Ford last round from his own teammate. Couple of chunks of paint taken out by the Muttmobile. Shadow Jet goes for the Ford, but the Ford too heavy, withstands the impact, and Shadow Jet cannot get underneath. Nice defense there. Blitz Speeder bounds off the back of Shadow Jet. The back of that car always a threat for anybody running into it. And Blitz Speeder pays the price, flipping over upside down, manages to get Shadow Jet underneath the Ford now, and the Ford is about to topple. Teiho with that implement manages to get underneath Shadow Jet, avoids going off the back of it. That was a nice hit, although the Ford managed to escape. And with that big claw under Shadow Jet could be in trouble. Scorpio also in trouble here. Octanium takes advantage of the mess down there at the end of the track. Scorpio is flipped over upside down and out. Shadowjet manages to weather the hit. Tahoe escapes, and the Ford also escapes. Octanium taking out only a fellow member of Illuvium. Wow, that was rough. The Muttmobile hurdles into Octanium. Octanium tossed off the track, but nice balance makes a recovery. Muttmobile is curbside. Shadowjet safe off the side. Forklift strikes and drives Muttmobile into the crates, and wait a minute. Forklift actually grabbed onto the wheel of the Muttmobile and ripped it off the car. A vicious hit, and the forks peeled that tire right off of Muttmobile. You can see it there on the track. Apparently the Klingon really knows how to operate forklift. No hijinks at all, just rips that tire off the car. Wow. Speedbox forces forklift up and over the tire and the safety rail into the safety spot. This is actually forklift's favorite spot to be. It's generally nice and safe. Musha Motors smacks Speedbox around. Speedbox bounces into the tire and bounces back. Definitely not a great position to be in for Speedbox right there. Phantom Racer takes a shot at Musha. Musha goes up, but does not flip over and keeps it going, keeps it steady. Speedbox manages to hop off the track to safety. Ooh, a devastating hit by the Alfa Romeo right there. And Phantom Racer bobbles around and goes upside down. Musha escapes and Phantom Racer in trouble. The CRX with those claws finishes the job. Phantom Racer bounced off the track upside down. The Alfa Romeo goes curbside but stays on the track. And that is going to do it for round 2. We had 4 eliminations in this round. That's going to take us down to 10 cars. Here are the cars that are out. 4 eliminations and 1 tire, I guess I should say. Taking a look at the aftermath, Illuvium and They See Me Rolling, both in trouble here with just 1 car remaining. Speed Reapers down 1-3. Mint Conditions did not lose a car, and Alabaster Aces steady at 2. And on we march to round 3. Speed Reapers starting us off again with Musha Motors. Musha managing to avoid what happened to Snake Oiler. Mint Condition sends down the heavy Ford, and Musha Motors tossed overboard and sideways. A nice hit. Potentially an elimination there for Speed Reapers. Shadowjet tries again with the back of that Ford, but has no luck. Probably just causes some more damage, but doesn't matter at this point. Speedbox just showing off for us right now. Look at that flip. You'd almost think this was a gymnastics meet and not a competition where cars crash into each other. Amazing agility from Speedbox. The last hope for Illuvium. Octanium smashes into Speedbox and goes sideways. That is not a good position to be in. And somehow Shadowjet is up on the back of the Ford. A much different result than the previous round, and Shadowjet could be in trouble. And with a nasty hit from the claws, Octanium gets tossed off the track upside down, and possibly Illuvium is out of this match. Shadowjet tries to reach for the safety area, can't quite make it, but stays upright. Meanwhile, the CRX is way back at the bottom of the hill. And here comes Muttmobile, 1 wheel down, but certainly not out, can still go down the track. Muttmobile plows into CRX down at the bottom of the hill. CRX gets booted forward, goes all the way down, and knocks Speedbox up in the air. Speedbox tilts, tries to make a recovery, but can't quite finish the job. And if Speedbox can't recover, They See Me Rolling are out of this. Forklift takes another shot at Muttmobile, knocks Muttmobile off the track almost completely. Forklift with a little tumbling there, and a nice recovery. CRX also got a nice recovery. That flip dislodged the Klingon. Also looks like Speedbox is making a recovery. Tahoe slides underneath the Ford. The Ford goes off the track, almost sideways. Speedbox makes a recovery, and Muttmobile is out. And suddenly the tables have turned. They See Me Rolling back in it. And Mint Conditions got to be careful here. Final car of the round, the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo bounces improbably off the back of Tahoe, comes down upside down, and somehow succeeds in eliminating the Ford at the same time. The claw clamped onto the safety bar, and that car was immovable. And in a highly unlikely turn of events, the Mint Conditions have been eliminated basically by themselves from this match. 5 eliminations on the round, 2 teams out, so this match is over. A wild round 3 and Alluvium and mint conditions are done. They see me rolling hung on. Alabaster Aces and Speed Reapers proving themselves forces to be reckoned with. Speed Reapers getting first place with the most points. They'll get to take advantage of the new switcheroo rule. Thank you to all my patrons for being a part of making this show. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time on the Junkyard Joust.